Here in my hands, I'm holding 5 kilograms of grains vacuum sealed in this sturdy Mylar bag. This way I can easily store these grains for 15, 20, possibly even more years. In this video I'm going to show you how you too can easily store grains, but also other foods like beans, rice, etc. in these Mylar bags, so stay tuned.
Hello and welcome to Climate Preparedness. In this video I'll be using buckwheat, wheat and rye and put it into Mylar bags for my long-term food storage. To do this you really only need just a few things. The first one being Mylar bags. I'd totally recommend you to get a good sturdy pair of heavy-duty Mylar bags, because once the vacuum sets in, the grains can put quite a lot of stress on the Mylar bag. So yeah, definitely don't cheap out on those. The second item you need is oxygen absorbers. Those will obviously absorb the excess oxygen in the Mylar bag. And if you want to learn how much cc units of oxygen absorber you need for your pack, you can go to my blog climatepreparedness.com and download the free Mylar food storage guide I have up there, and this contains all the information you need. Last but not least, you will need a hair iron to seal the Mylar bags. If you happen to not have a hair iron, you can use a regular iron and ironing board, but this will be a little bit more complicated, so I totally recommend you to get a hair iron. So before you get started, make sure you have a clean working surface, because you don't want to get your food storage contaminated by dirty hands or whatever. The next step would be to fill in all your food into the Mylar bags. You can either use buckets to stabilize the bags or just fill it into the bags directly. Doesn't really matter, you have to find out what works best for you. Yeah, at this point you should not open the oxygen absorbers yet, because they will immediately start to absorb the oxygen, so you should wait until the very last moment and first prepare all your bags before you get to the oxygen absorbers. Yeah, unlike me, you can actually be smart and label the bags before you fill in the grains, but yeah, it also works afterwards. But make sure you label them with the contents, of course, and the date you fill them in, just so you know approximately how long they will last. Before you start filling in the oxygen absorbers, you should preheat the hair iron to about 200 degrees Celsius or 400 degrees Fahrenheit. Once you've opened up your pack of oxygen absorbers, you shouldn't waste too much time, because, as I said before, the oxygen absorbers immediately start absorbing the oxygen. Probably the most important thing to take care of is to make sure to not trap any extra air in the Mylar bag. The cc units of oxygen absorber you put in is just enough to absorb the oxygen between the grains, but not any extra air. So even like 1 inch of air trapped above the grains will be way too much for the oxygen absorbers to handle. After I seal the Mylar bags, I let them sit for a few hours, just so I can make sure that the vacuum sets in. Afterwards, I usually store them in plastic boxes or buckets, both work fine, just to keep any rodents or anything from getting to them. Okay, so I hope you found this video to be helpful, and I'll see you next time.